So, my dears, our next stop on the map is Saverne, which is in northeastern France, 45 kilometers from Strasbourg, and it's a beautiful town. It's really nice, and we were lucky today. They were having a market. I believe that's the town square here. That's where we're going. Just after the intro, I will shut up for a couple of minutes because there was two girls playing the accordion, two little girls. I mean, how many kids today play the accordion? The French people must be used to it. They pretty much ignored them, but us tourists, we were given euros. They must have made some money that day. Check it out. I'm back. Weren't they amazing? I bet they're earning some money. Not all kids are playing video games. Good on them. So we're back in this beautiful town, and we just left it, and now we're at the Chateau de Béarn, Chateau Béarn. Now, I visited this place a couple of years back. Do you remember? I will include the videos. It's part 1 and part 2 in the link. You'll see the interior of this beautiful. I fell in love with this place. Long-time viewers will know how much I adored this chateau. Couldn't get in, and unfortunately it is in a state of ruin. So a few years later we have come back to visit, to see, and lo and behold, all of the weeds, all of the growth, the trees have been cleared away from the front of the building. You can actually see the door clearly now, and cleared away from the back. And we went and had lunch and found out that an entrepreneur has bought the place and intends to, he's going to have to gut the inside. It is in ruins, you'll see. But he's going to make it into a hotel. And I think that's fabulous. At least do something with it. Don't let it just rot into the ground. It's wonderful. I'm so glad. See, this was like a woods last time. If you watch the videos, you will see. You couldn't get here. It was just full. So they've cleared it all away. We will go back in a year or two to find out whether work has started, whether they've started work on the beautiful old building to restore it, in some ways, at least the facade, to its former glory. It's a real shame. As I say, the water that has been let in through the woman that was living here, the recluse, the hoarder, not being able to afford the upkeep, you can see it's just collapsed. It's entirely dangerous. You wouldn't want to go in there now. Everything's fell through, and I don't think anything could be saved. I'm not sure if the front part of the building couldn't get in, whether that is still. You see, it's all fell down. It's a real shame. Would love to get through there. It's all collapsed. Look at that. Well, I'm so pleased to hear that they're going to save it, that they're going to save this wonderful home, and it will be a home. Well, it'll be a hotel. People will be able to enjoy it again. Look, I mean, it's a bit blurry. I really apologize for that. I was trying to push my camera through the gap. It wasn't so easy. Sorry, this came up as a vertical. As I put the camera through the slit, it must have went into vertical mode. Apologies for that. You can still see the period chairs there and a piano in the background. The cat has just... And then, look, there's a stuffed deer's head which has been sort of hit by falling timber, hanging on there grimly. And I'm sorry, my cat is meowing here. It's harassing me. I'm going to have to turn this off in a minute. Look through there. So there, through the background there, it still seemed to be intact. A wonderful old vampire castle. Lots of these dotted around France. The French don't really seem to bother with them. It's the mad English and Americans who take them on. But I guess if you can get a hotel going, get some, revenue coming in, some income, then it's going to be worthwhile, because it will be a fantastic place. It's going to be an eye catcher. Anybody from overseas sees that on the holiday or the tourism internet pages. They're going to want to get to this place to stay. So you must think it's worthwhile doing. Wow! I'll go and stay there. Once they've done this place, I'll go and stay there and let you know what it's like. I think it's probably going to take a few years for them to get that going. I hope he hasn't backed out. I hope he hasn't. There's the balcony up there. Yep, I hope he doesn't. We'll keep you informed of that, Odette and myself. And a last few glimpses of the old relic before she undergoes her fairy tale transformation. I'll put up the translation of that coat of arms on the screen. Yes. Très bon, très bon. Very noble looking, even in its dilapidated state. Here we have a French Coca-Cola. Quite nice as well, I may add. Now this castle here is the Chateau de Haro. I probably pronounced that wrong. I'll put it up on the screen. It's in the Meurthe-et-Moselle region of France. I know I buggered that up. I was told here, you're going to have to go away. I'm making a video. Nein, fertig. I was told that I was the first Australian ever to set foot in this chateau, because it has been closed to the public since it was built, and only now the family has decided to open it up to the public. This was the first year that they'd opened it up to the public. First time ever you'll be seeing this amazing place. And I was so proud to be the first ever Australian. Audibert was in here. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. A lot of the place is still in original condition. The family now has some private apartment in the building, and they're obviously sorely in need of cash. No wonder. The upkeep must be horrendous. But look at that. I mean, the gardens alone, to hire gardeners to do that. Wow. Absolutely amazing. I love places like this. So you may want to visit if you're thinking about visiting Europe. If you're from America, and if you're in England, if you're thinking about visiting France, I would highly recommend coming to visit this place. So this thing here is a commode. You will see a close-up of that a bit later. This is the master bedroom. I think the beds look quite small, don't they? There's the writing desk, writing slope, as they call them. Very nice. Very regal, isn't it? So I guess the family didn't actually use this. The beds are in, it's the original condition, hasn't been restored. I love places like that where it hasn't, but they haven't brought in furniture, into an empty castle to make it look sort of how it would look just for the tourists. This is the original stuff that was in it. Apart from one room where I was horrified. You'll see that in a minute. And long-time viewers will know my tastes and know what I do not like. This I like. The original wall murals. Look at it. Even the doors are painted. Gorgeous. Now there's another little dunny, another little toilet tucked away in the corner, unrestored. Look at these beautiful portraits from the late 1800s, early 1900s. Fabulous. These were all ladies of the house. These were obviously the daughters. This was another lady of the house, probably from the 1950s. We have a tapestry here on the wall. I mean, this is like a museum, isn't it? Hard to imagine the people who lived here while the poor were out scavenging for breadcrumbs in the street. Now this, look at that. The family decided to put modern, horrific paintings in this gorgeous old room. I don't like it. It doesn't complement the building at all. No. And you know what was interesting? No one from the tour group was interested in going in there. What does that tell you? They're not coming to see modern paintings. That has its place. I just want to interrupt here. This is plaster medallions of very famous people, Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI. Yeah, they didn't want to go in there because it's not what they don't want to see, modern paintings in an old chateau. So the family buggered up there. There's an old cackle oven, which would have kept the room warm. Some clini bambinos, some little bambinos from a long time ago. This is another grand room. And also probably people from here, from the distant past. The grand days of the chateau. This is a billiard room then. Absolutely incredible. Look at all that gilding. It must have, I mean, they couldn't build something like this now. It would just cost an outrageous amount of money. They couldn't do it. No wonder the family has decided to open it up to the public. And it was like, a lot of people. We were going in the off season and we nearly didn't. Oh, look at this. Odette nearly lost her muesli when we saw the stains close up. We don't want to go there, my dear friends. We don't want to go there. Yeah, a lot of people. So we were told to come back for the next tour. We nearly missed out because it was already full. Look at that. Imagine that view in the morning. Another grand salon. Imagine heating that in winter. Oh my goodness. Gilding everywhere. Scrape all the gold leaf off and you could buy a horse. Or something similar. Wow. I'm speechless. The beauty overwhelms me. No, I just don't know what to say. Yeah, lovely view. Lovely view. This guide here was explaining this would have been a dining room, a circular dining room. There was obviously a lamp, which is gone now because of the damp seeping through. And so they would eat here in the morning. A lot of it is totally unrestored, as you can see. This was another circular room. This was a room that they had turned into a little theatre. They'd obviously cobbled pieces together of different, woodworks from probably another chateau that was pulled down and built that theatre, God knows when, a long time ago. But that room hasn't been touched, apart from those curtains they put there. So it's like a little stage. Look at the gardens. Amazing. And they have a moat as well. What more could you ask for? That'll keep the rabble out, unless you need them in, of course, with their tourist euros, which in this case they do. Look at that, the Rue du Morel de Beauvau. What a wonderful name, Beauvau. Now the reason why I'm showing you that is because we're going to take a quick trip to the cemetery, because we were told that a countess and a princess from that chateau are buried here. We're going to go and see if we can find their graves. Oh my goodness, they're just digging a fresh one here. I wonder who that's for. Somebody in the town hasn't paid their bills. The town was actually like a ghost town, I'm telling you. I mean, it's hot here in this valley of death. It was really hot, and still in the town, you couldn't see anyone. No one's around. It's like that sort of movie. What is it? House of Wax? This is it here. Here we go. This was the Countess, and then we have the Princess de Beauvau. That's this town where the chateau is. So yeah, they're buried there. All that history. Yeah, the town. No one come out. None of the people. It's like, I'm sure they're in the rooms there, sort of like they've been mummified, just sitting there with a sort of mechanical arm waving out the window. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling, and I think there will be a part 3. Yes, I fear there will be a part 3. So stay tuned, my dears. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye. Before we toodaloo, if you want to know what is screening at the moment on Patreon and also what is coming to YouTube next weekend, that will be, I think, the 4th of June, then stay tuned for the trailers. 1 video on Patreon and 1 video on YouTube. even to the junkies, pushers and homeless who gave Tompkins Square Park its unique ambience in the 1980s. Daniel Rakovitz was a scary character. He was often seen with a rooster perched on his shoulder, a copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf in his hand, and bore a disturbing resemblance to Charles Manson. It was known locally that he was regularly sacrificing small animals. In his frequent ravings, he insisted that he was Christ or the Antichrist, and sometimes just the god of marijuana. Whatever it was, most felt that this bearded man with the crazed glint in his eyes was dangerous. On September the 13th, police went into the Brooklyn restaurant where Rakovitz was working and arrested him. Rakovitz eventually led police to the Port Authority bus terminal storage lockers, where he had stored Monica's skull and other bones inside a bucket of kitty litter. He admitted dissecting her in a bathtub and making soup out of her brains. He tasted it, liked it, and thereafter referred to himself as a cannibal. In a later interview he said, "I am the new Lord, and I will take leadership of the satanic cultists to make sure they do everything that has to be done to destroy all those people who disagree with my church. And I'm going to be the youngest person elected to the U.S. presidency." In this episode, we detail the extraordinary life of a Romanian child prodigy, whose promise was tragically cut short at a young age. This story was researched and written by a Romanian journalist who contacted me on Instagram. She is at the moment researching and writing the biography of this gifted 19th century child. It is alleged that she actually designed her castle through communication with her father after her death, and that the castle today is well known for paranormal phenomena. It's a fascinating story and I'm sure you'll love it. Plus you may even see a few more photos of me when I was younger in the after chat.